Well, 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 boys and girls, moms and dads, and patriot gardeners. It's your buddy Murdock. And tonight, I've got a really special one for you. It's kind of like the Star Wars series, in which it goes backwards. Since you guys have already seen the giant tomato starts that I produce and how we do it, I figured I would show you guys the beginning portion of that, in which we set up the cups, get our soil, go over the soil mixtures, the do's and don'ts, and cover a couple different varieties. Let's take a look at what we got going on. We've got some Jubilee, looks very nice. Some giant pink Belgium, pretty awesome. Some San Marzano, also looking very nice. Brandywine pink fruited. This is a new one for me. I've grown the brandywines before, and I highly recommend them. But I've never done a fruited one. That's actually a new one. So let's see what else we got. Heirloom Leader Monster, and it's doing pretty good. And believe it or not, for this is supposed to produce like 1.5 to 2 pound tomatoes. Its starts are actually a lot smaller than some of the smaller variety tomatoes, which is actually kind of weird. Then we've got one of my favorites, old trusty Abe Lincoln. And we've done 2 rows here of Abe. And this is one of my favorites, the Brandywine Heirloom. And the meat on this is quite unique. And the flavor is so sweet. This tomato, I recommend everybody grow. And once you do, you always will. And we're doing pretty good. We've got a few late starts. This cup here, I don't know. We'll see. So these seeds were sown last Monday, and they started popping up this Monday. And so now it's Friday. So you figure these guys have been up for about 4 or 5 days. They've been under the lights, and they're doing pretty good. So what do we got going on here? Well, obviously we've got our red solo cup, double cup growing method going on. But ladies and gentlemen, thanks to one of our wonderful gardeners, one of our subscribers, and one of our Telegram members, and not only that, she's also our beautiful medicine woman. She was out shopping and came up with an idea and something that just absolutely blew me away. And that was, dun dun dun, a square bottom red solo cup. And thank you, Solo, for making this. This was actually amazing. Everybody was putting up so many comments about, well, how do we keep these suspended? Some people were using paper clips, some people threw rocks, which was actually getting in the way of the roots. And well, check this out. Square, and then a round cup for a base. Drops right in. Gives exactly the perfect space for the water retention and the root growth. And so the reason that we use the double cup method is because if you were to just grow, like let's take this cup right here, and we were to just, set it on the counter and put some seeds in it, la-da-da-da-da, it will grow. But once the roots hit the bottom of the cup and start penetrating the little holes in the bottom of your cup, what's going to happen is it's going to air prune. The roots are going to be like, no, we don't want to go, because they know there's no dirt there. And then what happens is a signal is sent directly up to your plant, and it tells the plant, hey, guess what? We're kind of hosed here. We only have like this little tiny bit of dirt, and we need to put all our effort into just dumping stuff into fruit now, or stop growing and let's do this and this to try to save ourselves to get some offspring out, because that's ultimately what they're trying to do. All of these tomatoes that we're growing here are producing fruit to reproduce. So by keeping them in a contained unit like that, unlike a normal and conventional pot or any other kind of container, their little roots stay contained in a atmosphere that's conducive and moist enough for them to continue to grow, and they'll actually fill that cup up. And you can see that in some of the other videos that I've produced. And I will leave links for the other videos that would follow this. So we've got our red solo cup that's square. We're going to go ahead, and I drilled some holes in the bottom of this. I used a little 1/8" drill bit and just drilled a whole bunch of holes. And then we're going to fill it up about 80% or so with our soil mix to get ready for our seeds. Now, the soil mix, there were a lot of comments in the other videos about the soil mix and doing it in percentages. So I went ahead and broke it down into gallon formula to make it easy for everyone, so that everyone can get this mix going on and get these results. Now, these are little, and they look little right now, but in a few weeks, they're going to be ginormous. And if you watch the other videos that I'm going to leave the link for down in the description in this video, you're going to be blown away. So our soil mix for tonight is going to be, let's see if I can get this to focus in real good here. Oh, let's see if this will help. Maybe not. Let's see, we're going to do 1 gallon of Kellogg raised bed and potting mix. That's your pink bag. 1 gallon of Kellogg premium indoor potting mix. That's the blue bag. 1/2 gallon of compost. And test it first if you're buying it, or just use yours. You don't want to be getting some compost that's got some herbicide or something like that in it and doing some bad stuff. Just test your compost. Always test your compost unless you make it yourself. I cannot stress that enough. 1/2 gallon of perlite, and we're going to add that in for drainage. That helps to prevent the dampening off, and it really gives the roots a lot of aeration that they're going to need. 1/2 gallon of Pro Mix, or a professional growing aggregate, whatever you have available in your area. I have a Sunshine Mix 4 in my area, so that's what I use. Pretty good. 1 quart of earthworm castings. 1 cup of Dr. Earth 5x5 slow release organic fertilizer. And let me stress this to you, all of the products that I just listed up here, they are 100% organic and are OMRI listed. So they are organically certified. That's pretty important. You don't want to be putting, chemical garbage in your plants or you. And I'll take the moment right now to just make another point. I've been seeing a lot of videos on YouTube, and I'm not going to dox anybody or, throw anybody under the bus. But if you see a gardener or, any of the other channels, and they're waving boxes of Miracle Blue, we'll just call it, and stuff like that, and telling you that there is no difference between chemicals and organically feeding your plants, well, ladies and gentlemen, that's why we're in the problem we are in our country, and why 80-90% of our topsoil has been depleted is because of chemical fertilizer and big ag. So for somebody to come on and tell you that there's no difference, it's basically the same as me telling you that, well, I can feed you healthy food every day and you'll be a healthy individual, or I can put this IV in your arm and you never eat another thing again, and I'm going to just basically pump you full of all the chemicals that your body needs to survive. Now, you will survive, I guess, and you will grow, But it's not going to be the way it should be, is it? No, it's not. And if I gave you the option of going to the store and eating delicious 100% organic Abe Lincoln tomatoes, or the watery tasting, chemically fed beefsteak garbage that you find at your local supermarket, which one would you pick and why? There's my mic drop moment for that. So we'll just leave that be. So we've got our cup, right? We get it 80% filled up with this beautiful mix. Now, some people will tell you only fill it up halfway. I'm going to tell you to do 80%. And that's because of the lights. Okay, now you can only drop your lights so far down on the cups. And when the seeds pop through, they need to get some light. The lights need to be within 2 or 3 inches of the plant. So if you look at this cup right here, if that seed, just as this guy's popping up, well, let's see if I can find another guy. Here, these little guys. See how little they are? Now, if that top of that stick marks the maximum distance, and I've actually pushed it, you'll see that these are all about that height. That's because I set them. That was the maximum height the lights could be away from the cups when the seeds sprouted, to be efficient and to give them what they needed so they wouldn't get all leggy and long and strung out. So we got our cup about 80% full, and then we basically drop in a few seeds, mark it, water it well, watch it grow. And for tonight's enjoyment, we have a special prelude to the next video and a few videos down the way. Oh, what's that? What is that? That's a giant pumpkin. And check that out. That's a giant pumpkin seed. So let's go ahead and put this in here. Hey, and another quick tip. I know this is a tomato video. And I can tell you guys love the tomato videos by the analytics on YouTube. But when you're planting squash, any of these big seeds like this, sunflowers, you'll notice there's 2 different sides of the seed. There is a flat bottom side down here, and then up here is a nice little pointy side. Now, that root ball, or the root stem, is going to erupt down here by this flat side. So we always put them butt in the dirt and hands to the sky, just like that. And we're going to go ahead and push him down in here to about 1 inch in depth. Cover him up. And then what do we do, Patriots? That's right. We water them all, watch it grow. And if you've never seen this little trick, just take a water bottle and take a pin needle and poke a bunch of holes in it. Look at this. It makes the perfect little watering bottle. You can easily water without even disturbing seedlings. But that being said, let's get back onto our tomatoes. So with all this wonderful variety of tomatoes and these starts that we've got going on, you can tell we've got, 4 or 5 in this cup, 3 in this cup, a few in this. So we've got to do something about that. And unfortunately, this time I'm not going to be separating them and thinning them into different cups because I already have 33 of them going on at once underneath 4 UV tubes. So here we go. It's decision time. Now, when we come through, and I'm not going to make you guys watch as I trim all of these. I'm just going to do 1 or 2, and then you guys get the idea. And then I'll show you the next step, and then we'll go ahead and move on. So like this guy these guys right here. So as you look in, and you're trying to look at your plants, you want to make sure you get, a good one. There's like obvious ones that are going to be, not winners. That guy's going to go. And then this guy right here. And out of these 3, I'm going to say, I don't know, which one will you guys pick? That one or that one? That one or that one? Oh, we're going to lean to the right. And that, yes, that was a political pun. So we're going to go ahead and remove the rest of these out of here. Sorry, guys. And then what we're going to do, since he's at the about the 5 to 6 day stage, and this is why we only filled the cup up about 80%, because you can tell as it's been getting watered down, it's kind of settled down just a little bit, and that's fine. But it's time to build him up just a little bit. So I've got a tub of the same mix, and we're going to go ahead and just take a little spoon here and come on over and just start filling this up. And then we'll give him a nice little spoon. So we can come over to this side and put some in. And what we're going to do is we're going to fill this up until it's right about to that line on the bottom of the cup. And then once we water it, it'll settle down just a little bit lower than that, to allow us to give a feeding in 2 or 3 weeks. But right now, this is the next stage for him. So he's germinated, sprouted, he's grown up. And let's take a good look here. And has grown his first set of true leaves right there. So it's now time we're going to go ahead and start mounting them up. And that's going to help him in 2 things. Number one, it's going to help him stabilize as he's growing and little. It's also going to help this root mass as it begins to grow. So I'm going to actually take him and push him all the way over here, just like that. Just make it a little easier so I could spoon this stuff in. And the Kellogg mix is actually pretty rich. I've had great results with it. And it has bat guano. It's got, quite a few different goodies in there. And he's actually a little bit shorter than I thought, but that's all right. So we won't go any higher than that. But you get the basic idea. Get him all pinched down just like this. And then we're going to come over here, get our little watering bottle, and go ahead and water them down real good. And get that to settle down. And that's it. And it's growing time for this guy. And I'm going to actually make a video, 1 a week. I'm going to try to, using all of these so you guys can actually follow the progression and see exactly week by week by week what I do to get those giant tomato starts that you saw in the other video, or the ones that you will see, because you're going to go down to the description in this video and check it out. And also, I'd like to say thank you to all my subscribers. It is absolutely blowing me away. I love teaching you guys how to grow things. It's so wonderful. In the comments and the discourse that we get is just second to none. I really can't thank you guys enough. I love you all so very much. It's amazing. And, teaching you guys how to grow, especially in this day and age, that's pretty important. You guys are going to need some food here real soon, I'm thinking. And let me know down in the comments if you agree. But if you're not subscribed, hey, maybe take a moment and hit that subscribe button. And make sure to hit the bell notification, the little bell icon that you see there on YouTube. That way you'll know every time that I make one of these little informative videos, or the one that's coming up next week, and you'll be notified. Isn't that pretty cool? You guys, this is going to be so neat. We're going to have so many different tomatoes to actually share and give pointers and tips on. I hope you guys have really enjoyed the video. Sorry it's taken me a couple weeks to get another one up, but things have been busy, and with temperatures going above 110 here in Arizona, well, I've been busy outside getting things covered up. But thanks for stopping by. I love you all. And never forget that Father started with a garden for a reason. Ladies and gentlemen, He knew in all his great wisdom it was the best place, the greatest place to teach his children how to grow. Never forget that. Love you all. Have a very good evening and a very safe 4th of July. Celebrate your independence. Celebrate it loud. Celebrate it proud. Murdock out.